Well, hello everybody. This is Dr. Carmen Bryan. Obviously, I'm not sitting in my car. This is still Car Chronicles, but I'm working from the home office from the Car Chronicles. So you guys ready? Well, let's do this. So you guys know I just recently did a video where I was talking about how sometimes people within our own professions, in the mental health profession or other people, will shame you for being honest and making a decision to work with victims and survivors of narcissist abuse. And the fact that we go in detail, we know that these individuals have mental health issues. They have, they've been traumatized themselves, and we applaud those that decide to work with those individuals. That's the passion that you have. That's the heart that you have to help these individuals. And so you do what you do. And the same likewise for us that are coaches and mental health professionals that make a choice to work with survivors. And some of us are survivors ourselves, survivors and victims of narcissist abuse. And there's no reason why you should be ashamed to do that, because I'm not ashamed to do that. I'm a survivor myself. And if it wasn't for others that were survivors that helped me, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in. To each his own, right? Well, think about it. Those people that have been victim to domestic violence, victim to narcissist abuse, which is domestic violence, when victims begin to speak up, or when survivors begin to tell their stories, and a lot of you now see they have, I can't think of the name of it. When I think of the name of it, I'll put it on. But on YouTube, they have survivors of sexual abuse, survivors of incest, survivors of narcissist abuse, speaking up and telling their stories. And some of these stories are horrific stories. There's one, her name is Aziz, I can't think of her name, where she was sexually violated by her father ever since she was a little girl, and had 5 children by her father. And she now speaks and advocates and got an education, and she advocates and she speaks on behalf of survivors. She tells her story to tell you this stuff is real. And, because of the fact that some people live in this, I don't know what kind of world they're living in, under the assumption that this kind of stuff doesn't happen. And so there are people that are abusers themselves, or there are people that are just ignorant, that refuse to believe that there are people that go through this type of stuff. Likewise, for those people that have come out of narcissist abuse. First of all, the people that they're being abused by are people that are well beloved within the community. That's why my book is called Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection, Abused by the Esteem. Because you have, narcissists can be, the one that I was married to was funny. He was fun, and most people enjoy being around us as a couple. They enjoy being around because he's funny. But as you got to know him, and a lot of his close friends began to know him, or people around him got to know him, you see that he was a somatic narcissist, or is a somatic narcissist. They're all about themselves. And the problem is that when survivors or victims try to tell the story and what's going on, you have a lot of flying monkeys. You have people that are very much like them, that enjoy being around them. They are not going to allow you to tell your story. They're not going to allow you to tell the truth. When my daughter was in the military, military is smaller than what you think it is. And they, the community in the military, they travel around, they meet each other, and there were people that were friends of his that were mutual friends of hers, in the military community. And when he was pretending to be with the side chick at the particular time that he's married to now, the side chick, everyone thought that was actually his wife. And when my daughter actually spoke up for herself and said that is not true, he is married to my mother and has been for this many years. They haven't even started the divorce process yet, but that is not his wife. And what happened is there were half of the people that were flying monkeys of his that argued her truth. And she was hurt because they argued her truth. And she said, that is not true. And you've known this for years because you've been friends of him. Birds of a feather flock together. Why even have to argue that? Because birds of a feather flock together. He was doing the same thing that he was doing. The sad part about it was that the kids get involved and your children get older and have to defend themselves too, or are trying to defend themselves and had to defend themselves. So that's story time for you guys, it's story time. But here you have the victims, the survivors, their family, their children that are having to protect themselves, and they know the truth. And when they tell the truth, you have flying monkeys that are friends and family or whatever of the narcissist that is highly defensive and defend the narcissist. 9 times out of 10, most of them are doing the exact same thing that the narcissist is doing. So what it is they have a guilty conscience themselves. It's not even a guilty conscience. They're doing the exact same thing. So they're going to defend their royal leader, this narcissist. They're going to defend this narcissist at all costs because that's a friend of theirs. And they're doing the same thing. And they get benefits out of it, just like the narcissist gets benefits out of the friendship and protection. But as I was saying, is that when those people come, or people or yourself come out of these situationships, you come out of this type of abuse, you come out of, it is hard to tell your story sometimes because nobody wants to believe you, because they were the esteemed of the community. They were the nicest people. They were the biggest givers. They give the last dime in their pocket. They'll walk around and feed the homeless. Those are altruistic narcissists. Those are the ones that people just love them. They're funny. They do very well within the companies that they work in, and the thing about it is, you were the one that suffered at the hands of this narcissist. And so now when you're coming out trying to tell your truth, nobody believes you. And that's the hardest thing for most people. And the thing about it is that you are re-victimized because now no one believes you. And you have to find that community that believes you. It's not the people that don't believe you. That's not your concern. Don't even worry about it. But think about it. If the narcissist finds out that that's why the smear campaign comes into play, because they know that you're going to tell the truth about what has happened. And so they've got to smear your name enough so that when you start telling the truth about what has happened, they've already painted a picture about you to make you seem like you're the person that's crazy. You're the person that's really jealous. You're the person that couldn't get it together. You're the one that had the mental health issues. You're the one that's got a long family history of abuse and mistrust. And you've never forgiven me. You've never forgiven me for the things that happened in the past, so you can't forgive me now. This is the reason why he or she is making up these accusations and telling these stories, because they're projecting, because they already know that you're going to tell the truth and tell what happened. So it makes it harder for you to tell the truth, and you're the one that actually is re-victimized. And so when you have people like the professionals that come out and begin to defend and protect and advocate for survivors and victims, guess what happens to many of us? And we're survivors too. We also get re-victimized. So the narcissist is always going to be the victim. So when you start telling the truth and you start telling what has happened, all of a sudden it becomes a matter of, and some of these people that are actually advocating are narcissists themselves. Not all of them, but a lot of them and a lot of them are still stuck. They're still stuck in the loop of narcissist abuse. So even though a victim or a survivor has come out of the situation, and a lot of them go and they're defending the narcissist because of the fact that they are still stuck in this loop. They have not been freed. And so they're still very hopeful. And so they're very compassionate. You got to be careful too when you're an empath. When you're very, very compassionate, you still are trying to heal your wounds, and you're trying to fix the narcissist. And so you become a flying monkey, not you in general, but if it applies to you, it applies to you. But you begin to try to defend this narcissist because you still have hope, and hope is still alive. You have to let it go and understand that a narcissist is a narcissist, and they are abusive. And so yes, as survivors, we get abused, re-victimized, but then you see the last video where people are accusing the people that are speaking their truth as to what happened, those that are coming out of the woodwork and finally finding their voice to advocate for others and to say, you are not crazy. This truly happened to you. You really were abused. You have been gaslighted for so long, but we understand because we have been through it too. Those are the ones that get re-victimized. Those are the ones that get re-victimized. Those are the ones that now the narcissist is the victim. Woe is me. I can't believe you're doing and saying what you're saying. You're so harsh. Don't you understand that this is when they start admitting to the fact, it's not really admitting per se, but this is when they start realizing that if I say that I'm a narcissist, it sparks curiosity. And so now that I'm a self-aware narcissist, you'll feel sorry for me and you'll become a flying monkey to try to protect me too. And so you have all those people, they're harmless. They understand, they're self-aware. They understand that they're hurting people and they don't want to be like this. They can't help themselves. They play right into what you say. And so when you come out and tell the truth and say, this is what I've experienced and this is what they do, and you have other people explaining it away. Isn't that the cycle? Isn't that the narcissist abuse cycle? Isn't that when we talked about the different roles that people play? You have the flying monkey, not the flying monkey, but you have the golden child. You have the scapegoat. You have the lost child. Aren't you still playing that role? And this person is not even a person in your family. You have been sucked in a whole nother galaxy with a whole nother narcissist. And some of them are online, self-aware narcissists, and some of them are online. And you're fighting and you have become a flying monkey. And you are defending this narcissist that you know nothing about online, and you're telling people how harmless they are, and you're telling them that they have issues and they don't want to be like that, and they're self-aware. They're playing you, sis. They're playing you, bro, like the young people say. They're playing you. They know how the game goes, and they just had to elevate the game because the platform changed. A narcissist is a narcissist is a narcissist. You have to get that through your head. They don't change. It is a personality disorder. It is a character flaw that doesn't change. It's a permanent character flaw that medicine cannot cure.